In this video, I'll be going over practical tips that can help you improve your gameplay in real matches. We'll focus on simple but important things like decision making, fights, and positioning, so you can start playing more consistently and winning more games. Let's get into it. Before we go into the first situation, I recommend practicing in 1v1 fights. It's one of the most effective ways to improve your mechanics and understand how real fights actually play out. This will help you get comfortable with pressure, positioning, and reacting quickly in close range situations. Now let's break down the first scenario. First, let's talk about fighting from low ground. When you're on low ground, your main priority is protection and smart positioning. You should always build around yourself from every side to make sure your opponent can't easily hit you. Don't stay in one place for too long. Constantly change your position and use quick movement, like jumps and fast edits, to make yourself harder to trap. The goal is to stay protected while creating small opportunities to counterattack and regain control of the fight. Next, let's talk about high ground. When you have high ground, your main goal is to maintain control of the fight and not let your opponent take it back. You should constantly block their attempts to break up, using builds to deny their movement and keep them contained. Try to trap them in your boxes when possible, and look for clean opportunities to deal damage through smart edits. Pyramid pieces are especially useful for blocking and controlling space, helping you limit their options and keep pressure on them while staying safe on height. I also recommend playing realistic modes as part of your practice. They are much closer to real in-game situations with more natural fights and pressure. You also have to deal with things like fall damage, which forces you to be more careful with your builds and positioning. This helps you learn when to commit to a fight and when to reset, making your decision making much better in actual matches. But in 1v1 fights, you should try to keep fighting even when you're low HP, like 10 or 16 health, because the goal is to improve your mechanics and learn how to clutch in bad situations. But in realistic modes, you should play more like a real match, box up, heal when needed, and reset fights when it's necessary, just like you would in an actual game. Now I'm going to show you the map I use for practice. I think it's really good for improving your mechanics. You can find edit courses here, and I recommend using them if you're a beginner. Start with the 2 or 3 star difficulty so you can focus on learning everything properly. At first, go slowly and be accurate, and then gradually try to improve your speed while keeping your edits clean. Next, let's move on to game sense. In this part, we'll focus on how to make smarter decisions during fights and when it's actually better not to engage. One of the most important skills in Fortnite is knowing when a fight is worth taking and when you should simply reset or avoid it. We will analyze a game from my live stream, and you are all invited to join me there. Now let's move on to the game analysis. First, choose a landing spot. It can be either a consistent drop every game or a random location, depending on your playstyle and what you want to practice. Second, focus on getting good loot and healing up before you take any fights. Make sure you are prepared with enough weapons, materials, and HP, so you're not forced into disadvantageous fights. Third, eliminate players in your landing spot to secure better loot. This helps you upgrade your inventory early and gives you a stronger start for the rest of the game. In this situation, something like this happened during the game. When I was looking for opponents, I heard a vehicle nearby, so I started shooting at it to disable the car and force the player out. I saw him exit and immediately tracked his movement to predict where he was going. I checked a bush with a shot to see if he was hiding there, and even though I didn't hit him at first, I didn't need a second check. His sniper fire revealed his position. Once I knew where he was, I took high ground, and since he didn't build to counter it, I was able to eliminate him easily. This shows how important it is to use sound, movement, and small clues to constantly track your opponent and make fast decisions. In this situation, it would normally be better to avoid fighting because we were outside the zone, but we had already started shooting at each other, so the fight continued, and like I lost a lot of HP because my builds didn't place correctly, which immediately put me in a weaker position. Because of that, I had to find a safe spot to heal before continuing the fight. And when you're low on HP, you should always try to heal as quickly as possible. But if your opponent keeps pressuring you and doesn't give you time to reset, then you should try to deal damage back to force them to slow down or back away. At the same time, another player started shooting at both of us. This is very common when you're fighting outside the zone because other players see it as an easy opportunity for eliminations. That's why fighting in bad positions or too far from zone can quickly become dangerous, especially when multiple players start focusing the same fight. While I was rotating, another player started shooting at me, but I reacted quickly enough to avoid getting eliminated. After that, I stayed alert and kept watching my surroundings to make sure I wouldn't get caught off guard again. As soon as I landed, I immediately built around myself because I knew someone could start shooting at any moment. I found some bandages, so I used them to heal and farmed materials by breaking the floor. In some situations, it's better not to break walls unnecessarily, because if you destroy them and suddenly need to build for protection, you can either take damage before replacing the wall, or waste the materials you just collected. I got a really good refresh from that player. Then the game moved into late game, where positioning and decision making become even more important. In late game, you should focus on staying protected, rotating safely into zone, and avoiding unnecessary damage. Try to stay aware of the players around you, look for good positioning, and only take fights when you have a clear advantage or need a refresh. You also need to manage your materials carefully, because wasting builds in late game can easily get you eliminated. Staying calm, making smart rotations, and reacting quickly to pressure are some of the most important things during this stage of the game. Now let's move on to aim. Your aim is one of the most important fundamentals in Fortnite, because even if your game sense and mechanics are good, you won't win fights if you can't consistently hit your shots. Good aim allows you to finish fights quickly, deal damage efficiently, and take advantage of small openings before your opponent can react or heal. In fast close range fights, even a single missed shot can decide the outcome, which is why aim is such an important fundamental skill in Fortnite. I recommend practicing your aim in 1v1 fights. That's what I personally do most often as part of my general warm-up routine, along with building and mechanics. You can also practice your aim in realistic modes during what feels like a real game situation. This helps a lot because you're aiming under pressure in more natural fights where every shot and decision actually matters. And also on the map I showed you earlier, it's a great place to practice aim in a controlled environment, especially when you want to focus on consistency and improving your shooting accuracy without the pressure of a real match. And that's going to be it for this video. I hope these tips helped you understand Fortnite a bit better and gave you some useful ideas on how to improve your gameplay, mechanics, game sense, and aim. If you apply these consistently, you should start seeing progress over time. Thanks for watching and good luck in your games.
She like it. I'm swiping, swipe, I sliding, she diking, I had to come right back like double back and rerun. I had to come right back like double back and rerun. She like